Hey Bears, and welcome back to Inside UCA Athletics. Today, we have the opportunity to hear from our athletes from our men's and women's cross-country teams. My name is Susie Moysh, and here with me, I have graduate student Madeline Hill, as well as graduate student Jack Dingman. To start off, will you both give us just a brief introduction about yourself?
Yes. So my name is Madeline. I'm from North Carolina, from a town called Waxhaw, and I am a physical therapy student.
And my name is Jack Dingman. I'm from Summerfield, North Carolina. It's a small town outside of Greensboro. And then I'm pursuing my master's in computer science.
Awesome, thank you both. So Madeline and Jack transferred here together, followed their current coach, Coach Weaver, to run for UCA. You both transferred from East Carolina University. So Arkansas wasn't exactly like a close transfer. Will you talk about the factors that you both considered when thinking about transferring?
Sure. For me, it was actually a really easy decision. I went to East Carolina University for really to follow Coach Weaver's training philosophy. East Carolina is kind of a wild environment compared to what it is here. Everybody kind of leaves town for the weekends here, whereas East Carolina, everybody came in. So I just really wanted to follow Coach Weaver's running philosophy. Everybody is trained individually, so that was really important to me. You know, I prefer running the 800 meter and the mile, while Madeline is like 5K or 10K. So that was really important to me. And then if you haven't met Coach Weaver before, he carries himself as if he's been coaching for 30 or 40 years. Especially with the beard he has, he's got like he carries a Gandalf level of wisdom. But I have to remind myself that he's pretty young, which makes it that much more impressive. So, coming out here, I knew he would build a great program. And I entered the transfer portal just at the hope that he would allow me to be part of that.
Madeline, what about you?
So yes, definitely a big move. I remember when I first was looking for colleges to run at, I didn't want to move anywhere that was further than like 2 hours, 4 hours from my home. So this was definitely kind of a big decision, moving far away from family. But Coach Weaver was a big part of my decision to move, just because the culture he created at East Carolina, just as an assistant coach, I knew that he was going to be able to carry that wherever he went. And the amount of care he puts into his training and his athletes, I just knew I wanted to be a part of whenever he was going to create.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool being able to build a program from the ground up, starting here with him. So I just knew that was something I really wanted to be a part of. And also the PT program here was really good. That's been something I've been wanting to do ever since I was in high school. So that was also a big part of my decision. But it's been great to be a part of the ascension of this program. It's been really cool to see.
Yeah, I can totally see that. So Jack, I want to start with you.
Sure.
When did you first start running?
I guess I started running in like 5th grade. We had a physical fitness test, which was a mile, and I really wanted to see if I could get that record. So that's where it began.
Okay, so when did you realize that you really loved running?
Well, it's funny. After 5th grade, I actually kind of didn't want anything to do with running for a year or two, but I'd say running became really big for me, probably middle of high school.
Okay. So that's been quite a while since you decided that it wanted to be something that you continued to pursue. Mm-hmm. What really drives you to run? What kept you going?
Well, yeah, for me, I'd say it was a need for purpose. And a need to engage in competition. Those are two big things for me. So purpose, I define purpose as something that's good, and I define good by things that are my Christian values define what good is for me. Things that are physically, mentally, and spiritually
healthy for you.
Healthy, yeah, exactly. And then something I need to do when I'm running, I feel like it keeps me level. I feel like everybody's got something they're good at, you know, something that drives them. Maybe for Madeline, it's PT or running. You know, for you, like you're doing these interviews and emboldening people to share their story. For me, it's like when I'm running, I feel like I feel free, and then I'm struggling with like, hey, I'm coming to the end of my collegiate running career. I'm probably going to have to make some compromises, you know, when I enter the workforce. So that's a big piece of it, is my purpose. And then the other thing is need for competition. I value being able to go out and compete against the best in the NCAA. Distance runners are already so competitive. So like I'm always training and thinking about, you know, how I'll stand against the efforts of others. And I think, you know, I think life without competition is idle. I think it's not a way I want to live. And that doesn't even have to be with sports and running. So those are the two big things for me: purpose and need for competition. Like I know that when I go and race, and even if I lose, like on a long enough timeline, I'm gonna win, because it's my purpose. It defines who I am, and I really need to compete.
Yeah.
So that's what running is for me.
Okay. Has that, you know, that big, really strong thing that you focus on, has that ever been taken away from you?
It has, actually. I guess when I got here, my sophomore year, I had a hip flexor injury.
Okay.
My hip bothered me. It was excruciating to run. So I was confined to the hyper, to cross train, which is like, you know, you have to do other exercises to keep strong for running. So for me, it was biking, doing the elliptical, worst of all, swimming. I hate swimming. It's completely boring, and you got to look at the bottom of the pool for hours on a time. So I have an immense amount of respect for people who swim competitively. But yeah, I had to constantly remind myself of the light at the end of the tunnel, why I'm doing all of the cross training. It's so I can be competitive when I finish up. And this is also another testament to how great Weaver is. You know, every day I was conversing with him about how my training went in the hyper. He was serving as a yes man when I needed it most. You know, hey, you just do the training I'm telling you, and when you get out, you're gonna be competitive. You're gonna be very similar to when you went out on injury. And he was right. It ended up being not a terrible season. So that's kind of how I handled being out on injury.
Okay. So how did this injury occur, or even, you know, through this process, what lessons or what takeaway were you able to get from this that kind of gave you that deeper meaning of your purpose in running?
Yeah, I think for me, like the deeper, I guess the lesson learned is for me is like don't engage in behavior that you may regret down on the line. So for me, like when I entered college at East Carolina, like everybody's got their vices. It might be partying a little bit too much, drinking a little bit too much. For me, it might sound lame, but it was playing probably too much video games. So like, yeah, I'd stay awake until like 3 a.m. I was required to wake up for practice at 6 a.m. You know, tried to do that for a long time, getting crushed in practice, and little injuries that probably built up to be the first big injury I had going into my sophomore year. So I guess my advice there, or what I learned, is that you know, when you're starting to engage in a habit that might not be productive or healthy, you cut it out as soon as possible.
There you go.
It's easier said than done sometimes, but then also to like lean on your friends and family around you. It's really helped here being on this program, because I trust Weaver a lot, and Weaver's the guy that recruited all the people on the team right now, and therefore I can trust and lean on all the guys that are on the team. Yeah, I guess in summary, don't engage in bad behavior, and lean on the people around you to keep you accountable.
I very much support that, and thank you for sharing that. Okay, So Madeline, I want to go to you and I want to kind of focus on how this year has been for you. So this year is your first year in PT, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you were also a student athlete, which is also a big weight. So how has this been carrying both these weights? And then what's motivated you to get through this?
Yeah. So yes, it has been a lot. It was a very big transition, much more of a big transition than coming from high school to college, just because this is a doctorate level program. And I remember when I first got in the program, we had like a meeting this first week of school, and they were like, you're going to be in class from 8 to 5, which we are a lot of times, it's an 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job. And then we, outside of class, are supposed to spend like 35 hours a week doing homework and studying. And I probably honestly do more than that now. But it's definitely a big transition, just making sure that everything I do, everything has to be intentional now. I can't get home and just sit down and relax for a minute. I have to get home and be like, okay, what am I going to do to maximize the amount of time I have? What are my priorities? So it's made me a lot more intentional, and honestly, I feel like it's made me more appreciative of like the little time I do have to spend with my team, or the time I have to spend with my friends. It made me more awake. I feel like I'm very awake this year, just to, how I need to be spending my time. I feel like it's honestly helped me train better in running. Like, I'm making sure I get all the little things in, just because my life has to be so focused right now. But yes, it's definitely a lot more, I have to plan out everything I do. I have to be very focused. And I say things that drive me to do it. For physical therapy, I've wanted to do this ever since I was in high school.
Okay.
Running definitely got me into physical therapy. I've always just been so fascinated with just the science of movement. How can we make ourselves the best we are, best we can be physically? How can we make ourselves the most mobile so that we can have the highest quality of life, be the best athletes, be the best people we can be? And I live that in my life. I'm very active. I run. I do a lot of outdoor activities like hiking, camping. And I want to be able to give that to other people too. I mean, everyone should have the opportunity to, be able to move. And I mean, that's how you have the best quality of life, when you're able to participate. So, that's very big for me. I want to be able to give other people, what I have. And, so I think that's what drives me, to do physical therapy. That, and, it's kind of similar to running in the way that it's competitive, but at the same time, I have a group of friends in there that we have each other's back. We're helping each other, pushing each other to be the best we can be. So it's kind of a good transition, going from running to PT. I feel like a lot of the skills translate over, just because, we're working hard for ourselves, but also pushing each other.
So what skills did you pull from running that kind of helped you get through this stuff in PT?
Definitely mental strength and endurance. You have to be very mentally strong for PT when you come home and you just taken 2 exams, and then you have another one on Monday, so you have to study the whole weekend. You have to be very mentally focused, and just very able to even if something goes wrong, you have to just put it behind you and push forward. And running is very much like that as well. If you have a bad race, you take it, you learn from it, but you don't harp on it. And Coach Weaver's been very big about that too. After every race, he's kind of taught us to do that. Coach Weaver and Coach Danae, we have a little index card, and after every race, it's like a little list of what did you learn, what did you take from this race, what do I want to do differently. And that's kind of what I do in physical therapy too. After I take a test, if it doesn't go how I want it to go, okay, I take a step back, look at what I can change, and that's how I improve. And that's how, a lot of things in your life shouldn't, it's a waste of time if you do something wrong and don't learn from it, but it's not a waste of time if you make a mistake and then you take the effort to learn and adapt.
I love that. So both of these, I'm kind of getting that, like, running helps you kind of be your best self, both within when you're running yourself and you're pushing through those physical limits, but also outside of that. So how does that kind of look, as I am not a runner, but as runners, kind of what does that look like? Jack, we can start with you with, as you're running, what are some of the limits that you kind of have to push through mentally?
Well, it's racing it's very aggressive. It's part like strategy, and then it's part instinct. So it's like when it's getting painful, you just got to be like willing to stay in the fire longer than the guy next to you. So your lungs burn and your legs burn. That's what it comes down to. And we spend our entire I know we've spent our entire running careers working down time. So we're at a point that it's like you really have to give it all you have every single time you go race to even get a little bit of a personal best. So that's kind of what's required when you're racing.
Okay. And then Madeline, how have you been able to what's that like as a runner to push through those limits physically and mentally?
It's definitely hard when you're you're racing and you're out there on your own. It's kind of an individual sport, but a team sport same time.
Okay.
So it's definitely hard when you're out there by yourself. You're not out there by yourself, but you are. You have to be able to do your own best to be mentally strong and, fight your own thoughts. At the end of the day, it's not the other people you're racing. It's your own mental, your own mind, your own mental state. So, at the end of the day, you just have to be competitive and you have to be focused. You can't let yourself get lost or turn off the race. You have to constantly stay focused, stay engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for kind of sharing how that you being your best self has helped you in other avenues of life as well. So Madeline, and well, both of you, but Madeline, I want to ask you, you talked about when you were making this decision, how important it was that your team felt like a family.
Yes.
Was there a specific moment or time or anything that really clicked where you realized oh, I am home, this is my family?
Yes. So the day after I moved into Urbach Apartments, I remember I was so nervous. My family had just left and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in a state 12 hours away.
Yeah.
Don't know anybody. I remember the whole team decided we were going to have a karaoke night. So I can't remember who, someone brought their karaoke machine over and we all had snacks. We were sitting out on the couch. We just decorated our apartment, so it was all cute and nice. And we played karaoke. We sang the most ridiculous Disney songs. I remember we had Rapunzel songs going. It was hilarious, but it just really made me relax and realize, okay, these people have my back. I met the whole team that day, and they all just made sure they took the time to each speak to me and get to know me. And that made me realize, wow, this team, I'm going to be okay here. This is where I'm meant to be. This is a good decision.
That sounds awesome. I love that. Well, thank you both for sharing that with us. I'm glad you've both, found your family while also being a bear. So for our listeners, make sure to stay tuned for more episodes. Follow us on social media. Check out our website at ucasports.com. Download the UCA Athletics app. And as always, go Bears.
Go Bears.